Hi everyone, this is Lady D, and today we're going to be picking up from our last video where we're talking about Christian singles getting busy, getting focused, and getting content. And today I just wanted to pick up where we left off and just explain a little bit further what I'm meaning when I say content. Because I don't want anyone to be confused, and I want people to get the message when I'm really saying content. Because I don't want some people to say, well, I'm not content being single, and I don't feel right. You're saying to be content, but I'm not content, and I don't like being single. I don't want to be single the rest of my life. I'm not satisfied being single. I'm not happy being single. So you're saying be content, but how can I be content when I want to be married, when I want a companion, and all of these things? And what I'm saying is this: there's nothing wrong with wanting a companion if you're single. Of course, there is no problem with you wanting a companion and wanting a relationship while you're single, unless you have the gift of celibacy, or and you have made that vow unto the Lord that it's just going to be you and him until the day you die. Then of course there's nothing wrong with that. The Bible doesn't even say that there's something wrong with that. Even Paul was saying, this is good for you to be here. The state that you find yourself in is good for you to be there. However, if you cannot be there, if that is not your lot, then find a person that's a Christian. So I want you to hear me closely. That is not the message that I'm trying to relay, and that's why I want to just break it down a little bit further what I'm trying to say when I mean content. Because even as myself, as a single person, I would like companionship at one day. I would like to be married one day. However, when I say that I am content, meaning this, that desire does not control me, if that makes any sense. That desire does not alter my character. It does not alter my behavior, whereas now I'm acting, my behavior now is based upon that desire. I'm acting in ways because of that. I'm acting in certain ways because of that desire, okay? Because this is what I'm saying. We have to be content, meaning satisfied with the will of God for our lives right now. We have to be content with the will of God, okay? With the will of God, meaning I might say, Lord, I'm not happy where I am. I have my joy because my joy is in you. Happiness is based on your circumstances and different things of that nature. But I might not be happy per se where I am right now, but I am content being in your will. I think you can have that. I think you can be balanced there. I'm not happy where I am, but I'm content being in your will. And because I'm content being in your will, then my actions are according to your will, and they're not according to the unhappiness of my state, if that makes any sense. Because this is the thing. When you're not content with the will of God, this has nothing to do with you being, happy and all of this. When you're not content with the will of God, you will begin to reflect that in your actions. For example, when women are not content, women or men, I'm just going to use women as an example. When women are not content with the will of God being single, what are some of the things that they do? One of the things that they do is they begin to settle for less than what the Lord will have for them. Because now they're trying to act it out on their own. They're trying to make stuff happen. They're trying to do it in their own will. Does that sound? Does that make any You know, does that ring any bells? Is that people in the Bible that have done that? When we're not content with the will of God and content with the timing of the Lord, we begin to act out. We begin to try to help him out. Like Abraham and Sarah with Hagar and Ishmael tried to help the Lord out. They had the promise. They knew what was going to happen. They just did not know when it was going to happen. They had the promise from the Lord, but because they were not content, because they did not want to, you know, they got tired of waiting on the will of the Lord to manifest, that they wanted to do things on their own time. And then we see what happened with that. And so this is what I'm saying. When we're not content with the Lord, when we're not content with the will of God, we go out and we do stuff. As I said, we start settling for less. Any joker will do. Okay, well, if he have a job, okay, I can deal with it. He half saved, okay, well, at least he half saved, I can deal with that. You know, he has 20 kids and he only takes care of 2. At least he taking care of the 2. I can deal with that. He might not read the word, but he has a Bible in hand, and at least he has his Bible, and I believe that I'm a mini God, and I can change him. So we start, you know, we start doing things like that when we're not content. It causes us to that unhappiness there. We start acting on that instead of acting according to the will of God. And for a contrast, now that's someone who is not content being in the will of God. Now for contrast here, let's look at what an example will be for those who are content with the will of God. I'm not happy per se of my state that I'm in, but I am content with the will of God and the timing of God right now, because I know that he knows everything from the beginning to the end. He has my best interest in mind. And he is God. He is sovereign. It is in my best interest to submit and wait on him. And when that happens, when people approach us, no matter their title, no matter what degrees, no matter, you know, no matter what's going on, what they have, what they don't have, what they live in, what they don't live in, how they approach us, how nice they are, how sweet, you know, the things that they tell us and all this stuff. No matter that, the Lord, if we are in sync with the Lord and his will, and we're seeking his face, he will let us know about a person. He will tell us about a person. We will have we would not have that rushing thing in us. Oh, somebody approached me. Okay, let me do this, and let's do this, and let's set the marriage in place, and we only known each other for 2 weeks, and oh yeah, I got it. We won't do all of that. We will have no problem with, oh, okay, you're interested in me. Okay, well, let's see how things go. You know, let's sit back and let's see how things go. You have no problem with being patient when you're content with the will of God. When you're not content, you're rushing. You know, you have no patience. Okay, I want to, yeah. But when you're content with the will of God for your life, you can relax and you can rest in God, knowing assured that he will direct you, and in his timing, that person will come into your life, and that season will begin. So you're not jumping into stuff, okay? You're not settling for less, okay? You're at peace with where you are, okay? And now, because you have the right perspective, you have and when I say the right perspective, I mean the will of God in mind. Now that directs your actions, that controls your actions, okay? Instead of you not being content with the will of God and impatient, and you're ready to settle for less, and you're just ready to hop on anything, instead of that controlling your actions and decisions, now being content with the will of God. The will of God controls your actions and your desires and different things like that, and it keeps you out of mess, and it keeps you out of foolishness. How much longer will we be not content with the will of God, that we always will have to get in foolishness? We always have to be connected to mess. We always have to do things outside of the will, and now we have to go and get into stuff, and now come back, and now we have to look back and say, if only. that hindsight. Before some videos before, I was telling you when we were talking about growing up in the Lord, which we will get back into next month. I was telling you it is better to have pre-sight, foresight, than to have hindsight. And the Lord, if we're in His face, seeking and praying and fellowshipping with Him, and content with being in His will and content with Him. That's another thing. We have too many options. Okay, our only option should be God. We have too many options. Okay, and when you have too many options, then that's why you're going into a whole bunch of all these directions, because you have too many options, which we'll get into that later on. But so now we have the will of God, and the will of God is controlling our lives, is controlling our decisions, and we can be at peace. We might not be happy with our situation. We might not, yes, be happy of what's going on, but we're at peace. And why are we at peace? Because we are content with being in the will of God for our lives. As I told you before, I guarantee if you learn to get content being in the will of God for your life, that's where your peace is. Okay, that's where your continual joy is. Joy is not based on your circumstances. Joy is not based on what's going on, but joy is based on your relationship with God. He is my joy. Okay, the joy of the Lord is my strength. Delight thyself in the Lord. That's our joy. Okay, so that's what I mean by being content. And I'm going to get more into this content outside of the single realm next month, because I really want to talk some more about this, because this is I'm just going to go out and say that it is dangerous to not be content with the will of God and the lot that the Lord has you in, the place that He has you in. It's dangerous, okay? Many have forsaken the narrow path. Many have forsaken their relationship with God, all under the umbrella of I'm not content. Okay, and now as James chapter 1 tells us that temptation, now the temptations come, now you is enticed and you dragged away by the evil lust that was in your heart. Okay, and so we don't want to do that, and that's why I want you to hear my heart. I'm not trying to tell people who are single, well, don't want a mate and don't do. No, that's you're missing the whole point. What I'm telling you is it's okay with desiring that. It's okay with wanting that. But be content with the will of God for your life right now, today. Let God handle tomorrow, but today be content. And in today, we need to get busy. We need to get focused on the will of God for our lives, and we need to get content. So I hope that this has blessed you. I hope this cleared up any misunderstandings or anything like that. I'm enjoying this, talking about the singleness, Christian singles. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below or email me. I'll be happy to talk more about being single to the glory of the Lord. It is possible, but you have to agree with God and make your mind up to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and end right there. We're coming to a close, actually, talking about Christian singles just for this month. I know I said I was going to dedicate this whole month to talking about it. Next month, like I said, I'm going to pick back up with my regular videos, the other topics that the Lord has placed upon my heart to share. So like I said, if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. God bless you, and I'll see you on the next video.